Something that's doing maybe 30-something, do you kind of look at teams and does weather affect how you scout a team at all?
Yeah, weather always plays a factor in the game, especially when it's wet and stuff like that. And you know, heat or whatever, the conditions always do, but ultimately it's about, you know, obviously how you prepare and you know, we're obviously working to make sure we do a much better job of preparing and maintaining our focus on the task at hand, which is always a goal 1-0. You know.
What's Oregon State's offense showing on film?
They're explosive and they're clicking right now. I mean, the run game, the pass game, and in the pass game, obviously they got some really good wide receivers. Quarterback's doing a phenomenal job. And getting the ball not only to the wide receivers but the tight ends, you know, in their pocket movement stuff or their drop back pass, and the run game is, you know, opens up those things up for them as well. And they got 2 running backs that are really good, and obviously the offensive line is doing their work up front. So, you know, you're looking at an offense that is scoring a lot of points right now. So we've got to have our best week of prep.
For Civil War, what have you kind of been told about this rivalry and what it is and what it means for the state?
You know, obviously it's a huge deal, and you know, we've got to work to make sure that our focus is on the right things, so that, you know, in big time games like this, we can do the things that we need to, and that's going to take our very best prep again, and that's where our focus has got to be. You know, there can become some distractions, you know, in big time games like this, and we just want to focus on what we need to do to make sure that we're ready to go.
Has your message changed at all? Coming off a loss, you got to kind of build the guys back up as to maybe you haven't for the previous 9, or do you notice it all the same?
You got the taste in your mouth that you haven't had for a while, obviously, but every week it's win or lose. We got to reset that thing, and obviously even more so this week, we got to do a better job of resetting it and aligning our focus to what it is that we need to get done. And this time of the year, you know, it's a grind for everybody. There's going to have to be a lot of sacrifice individually to contribute to the betterment of the family, to our team.
You have to rebuild some of your guys' comments at all?
You know what?
Some of the DBs or guys from off of last week?
It's always about maintaining confidence. This game is about fundamental technique and confidence. And you know what? We love those guys. They know we love them after the game. We told them we love them, and it's not just one position group or the other. It's all of us. There's 11 guys on that field, you know, and there's all of us coaches, and there's everybody on the sideline. It's just not one particular group. It's all of us together. That obviously starts with me.
Andy, what happened on that 3rd and 16?
We just, you know, we didn't play. They maxed pro, so we couldn't get to the quarterback. They chipped the edge guys, and you know, they ran a double move. And so, you know, obviously, Demo's one of our best players. He's one of our best guys. I'll take him, you know, 10 times over again in the situation. I love him, and we'll be much better for it. We'll learn from it, and we'll grow. But we can do a better job of helping him with the coverage, with the post safety and things like that. But you know, we're growing. We're still always a work in progress. You know, they always say you're always growing and you're dying, and we got to be growing every single week, every single rep, to make sure that we understand situational football and so that we can play to certain situations.
You guys have done a really good
job at keeping the top on the coverage, 250 plus, and on the 3rd and 16, you had not allowed in years. You got to go back to pre-coordinated 2015, 80-plus yard play on that kind of distance. What do you have to go about correcting? You talk about the players, but what do you have to go about to fix something that just rarely ever happens?
It's all of us together being better in the situation and understanding where we're at in the game, understanding what the situation is, and obviously executing a lot better. And that's not just an individual player. Obviously, again, that starts with me and making sure that we, as a whole staff, as a defense, we understand the situations that you know, the situation in particular that came up and how we need to play that situation.
Senior day on Saturday. Obviously, the senior class has faced a lot of adversity through their time as Ducks. How would you describe them?
You know, they have, and they've battled, and that's what we talked about. We stayed in that fight, you know, all the way into that last game there. You know, unfortunately, it didn't come out the way we would have hoped and we would have wanted, but they stayed in that fight, and we're talking about, you know, just continuing to grow and get better with their last few games here, and about, you know, the type of impact that they've had on this program, and the direction we're growing and moving, and what they still can do to impact the program.
You guys have done so well at tackling in space, and I know it's the hardest thing to do, but they're very fast. But that had to be the most missed tackles you guys have had in the game.
Yeah, in particular on one play, there were more than one play than we had in a half. So it all comes down to, again, our urgency and our belief that we're going to make and have to make every single play. And, you know, again, that falls back on me to making sure that in practice that our urgency to make those plays in practice is there, because if it's not in practice, it's not going to be there in the game. So I've got to do a much better job making sure that number one, we're repping those situations in controlled settings and tackling drills, and obviously then we're getting that work in team periods and making sure we're making that quality work.
When you look at OSU on film, I mean, their stat splits are, really night and day. When they play Utah, Cal, Washington, compared to everybody else, it's like more than double. So what film is most helpful to you in preparing for this game?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, every week you're trying to find the right film to give you the right picture, the right look, to fully understand who it is that you're going up against and those things. And more times than not, you're watching the teams that have done a better job, especially when the offense has been so explosive like they have been. So there are definitely some games that that help us in terms of trying to figure out exactly who they are.
Favorite part about Thanksgiving?